everyone. Semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Don't forget to say hello in the chat there and let me know if you can hear me. I'm pretty sure you can. I tested everything before I went. Couple of quick notes here. You will notice that my green screen is just green behind me today. I've been having trouble with the backgrounds I've been using causing lag in the streams, so I'm probably just going to be on the green background for the next couple of live streams, so we'll see how that goes. We got a couple people in the chat already. We're up to 10 already. We're just getting started. Look here, we got the Squatch, the carnivore trucker is here, saying hello to everyone. Gave me a 10-4. I'm assuming that means he can hear me. Addicted to Antlers is here. Hello to you. I'm glad you're here. Squatch says 5x5. That means he can hear me. Absolutely. And Thomas Murphy has arrived already. Thank you guys so much for being here. When I look over that way, I'm not actually ignoring you. My bigger screen is over there so that I can read the comments as opposed to on the laptop. So I'm not actually ignoring you. That's just where things are going. Hey, Sean is here from Intentional Carnivore. Hello, Sean. They've got a live going tonight with him and Carnivore Kip and Dave are all going to be live. I forget what time it is, but you'll find it. I believe it's on Carnivore Kip's channel. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but I think it's on Carnivore Kip's channel tonight. But you guys may want to check that out because they're all pretty good. Not as good as me, of course, but they're all pretty good. Green is a great color. Sylvia's here. Hello, Sylvia. I'm glad you're here. We're up to 15. Outstanding. I'm glad you're here, Sylvie. Everybody's saying hello to Sean, and there's John. Hello, John. How are you today? I'm glad you're here. Tomorrow? Oh, is the live tomorrow? Okay, I may have read it wrong. But anyway, either way, whenever it is, it's going to be awesome. Okay, should be on any of our channels, so you're going to triple cast. That'll be good. And Sandra says hello from Michigan. Hello to Michigan. Yes, Bert, I am a member of the 6-0 Club, or as a friend of mine from high school would now say, now that I'm beyond 60, I'm in the power slide to 7. Yeah, that's the kind of friend he is. Absolutely. And John saying hello to Sean, I believe. And Marnie Mack is here. Hello, Marnie from Toronto, Canada. Absolutely. Hello. Toronto, great town. I've never actually been there, but I've seen a lot of pictures. Interesting fact, one of my roommates all the way back in college was from Toronto, Ohio, which is in extreme northeast Ohio. Not that has any bearing on Toronto, Canada, but I do appreciate you putting CA in there because where I come from, it could mean either place. But I'm glad everybody is here. A couple quick things here before I get going. Just a quick reminder that we have I'm having a meetup here in Omaha on July the 27th. That's a Thursday. We're going to meet at Putting Plus, and we're going to have burgers and probably some hot dogs, and we're going to play miniature golf. That's the day before the Hard to Kill Omaha Summit starts. So if you're coming in for the Omaha Hard to Kill Summit, be sure and come in a day early so we can all hang out and play mini golf and eat a great big pile of burgers together. I think that will be fun. I have a time conflict coming up here this summer. The miniature golf course that I have worked for many, many years, Dave would like me to work Friday evening short shift as well as close on Saturday, which means I had to be up there by about 5:15 to 5:30. So, but I'd only be up there at about 9. So I'm going to leave it up to those of you that watch this stream and leave a comment down below. I can either slide the stream back 15 minutes and go from like 4 to 5, but I think that's going to be cutting it close because starting at 4:15, that's 5:15 on the East Coast. Many people are still just getting home from work. Or would you rather I move the stream to say I'll get off work about 9 o'clock up there so I could start the stream at 9:30 and do 9:30 to 10:30 on Friday evening just for the summer, which would be like 10:30 to 11:30. So it'd be getting a little late on the East Coast, but it'd probably be a better time for those of you west of me. And I have no idea how that would affect all the people overseas in different countries, but just we've got several weeks yet to make that determination. So if you see me talking about this, be sure and go down, leave me a message down below, and I'll pretty much do what the majority of people seem to want, because it makes no difference to me. It'll be getting a little late for me, but it usually takes me an hour or two to wind down from being out at the miniature golf course anyway, so I should be fine with going live after. So either way, let me say hello to a few more people, then we'll get into the birthday cards that I got. I got quite a few of them. Craig is here. Do you feel younger at 60 than you did at 58? Yeah, I feel younger than I did at 40 because, I was already very sick at 40. Yes, I feel a lot younger now than I've felt in decades. I still haven't got, I clicked on them and it says they're somewhere in transit, but I still have not got your gift, Craig. So we won't be eating sardines on the live stream today, but hopefully they'll come in and we can get to that next week. That would be awesome. And there's Donna. Hello, Bob and everyone. Hi, Donna. How are you today? And Raven's Nest is here. Thank you, Bob. Let's see here. Today's ribeye just finished cooking and it's resting. Excellent. So you'll get to eat your ribeye while you watch the second half of this. That'll be fun. Talia is here. Finally able to catch you live. Great to see you, Bob, and happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see here. Happy to watch lives anytime, Bob. Whatever time works for you is good for me. That doesn't help me at all, guys. I need you to tell me which would be better for your schedule, and I can take kind of a majority rule thing. Because, I could go live, I could wake up in the middle of the night and go live at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I don't imagine I'd have very many people show up then. And there's Alan's awesome keto world. Hello, Alan. How are you today? And would prefer to have live later on Friday. Okay, we have our first vote for later. Be sure and put that in the comments below this video when this is final published, so that I can keep track of stuff. Because sometimes YouTube shows me the live chat replay, and sometimes it doesn't. Even though I tell it to, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Gail is here from upstate New York. Just found you a few days ago. You're an inspiration. Just turned 66 and been doing carnivore now 2 months. And pink waving. I'm glad you're here, Gail. I hope you enjoy your stay here with us. While I'm thinking of it, for those of you that have questions, don't forget to get those in. I'm happy to answer questions, and if it's a question you'd rather not put out over the internet, you can send me an email at SemiRetiredBob@yahoo.com, and sometimes it takes me a day or two, but I do try to answer all of my emails. And Alan is still at work. And Keto in the Mist says, happy Friday, hello to you. I'm glad you are here. And saying hello to those people. Okay, let's get into a couple of birthday cards I got here. This one, very nice. Come on, let me cover my face up so they'll focus in there. Because what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Happy birthday. And this one is from Leslie. And she says, "Dear Mr. Bob, thank you for all the inspiration your channel provides. Wishing you continued good health." Thank you very much, Leslie. I really appreciate the card. And she had a little gift in there too. It would be wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then this one was really cute. Got dogs and little thingies that float around in it. It was very cool. This one is from Tampa Jan. Listen to this. When we open it up, I really like that. Tampa Jan sent in and said, "This reminded me of all the puppies you encounter on your walks. Just thinking of you on your big day, Tampa Jan." And she had to have somebody mail this for her. She was doing really, I don't want to go into a lot of it today, but she was doing really, really well. She's had a major setback. She's going to have another surgery on her back. So I know she's feeling a little down. So if you see her in the comments, be sure and say hello to her and send her some encouragement, because she's been having a pretty rough time of it the last couple of days. But hopefully everything works out for the best in the long run. And then let's see here. I got some more birthday cards down here. I got that one, and I got that one. I really like this one. This one was from the person who looks after the house when I'm not here. He just dropped off. This I really liked. It says, "Happy birthday. If anyone teases you about getting older, remember what you learned in Sunday school. Turn the other cheek." I thought that was really cute. And then my sister sent me a very nice card. "It's your birthday, another chance to remind you how terrific you are and let you know how much you mean, and to wish you nothing but the best because it's just what you deserve." And she kind of said the same thing I did. Wow, 60 years old. Hardly seems possible. But that's a picture of the card my sister sent me. And that brings us to the end of our stack of birthday cards. They're not Christmas cards, birthday cards. Let's jump back into the oops, I may have missed something here. Watching from work. No, I did that. What was the question about time? Some new people that came in. Yeah, the question on the time is I either have to move my live back 15 minutes to 4 o'clock, or I could do it after I get home from work this summer, which would be about 9:30 Central Time. So whichever one you think is better for you, be sure and let me know down in the comments underneath this video after it goes, after it's done processing, after the live's over, because sometimes the live replay chat doesn't show up. And Craig says, "Do your live at 3, gives you plenty of time. You can always watch it later if they miss it." And I did think about that, but 3 o'clock here would be 4 o'clock on the East Coast. So literally everyone is going to still be at work. And while, yes, they can watch the live replay, I'm a little selfish. I like having people actually in the chat while I'm live. So I don't think I want to push it back quite that far, but that is a suggestion that I will consider. Thanks, Craig. Hey, Semi-Retired Bob from Gary. Glad I found your channel. You have a compelling story to follow. I'm on day 5 and feel great. Fantastic, Gary. Just remember, at some point, probably within the next week or two, you're going to have some times where you don't feel quite so great. But just push on through those and hang in there, because you go through everybody goes through a period of where they don't feel quite so great. Just understand that's probably coming, whether it be you're tired, fatigue, or bathroom issues, or a lot of people run into what Carnivore Quest calls the meaty wall of doom, where you just don't feel like eating. A lot of different things can happen, but just push on through. And when you come out the other side, you'll feel even better than you do now. Look, 39 people in here. Don't forget to say hello if you're just coming in. I'm trying to watch YouTube videos and lives from all you wonderful carnivore content makers to keep me inspired and on track. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. Quite a few of them are in the chat. Let's see here. I don't know. Is there beeping noises on anybody else's? I know the fans on my laptop are kicking on and off, but I don't hear any beeping noises here. And the sound sounded pretty good to me. Let me throw a headphone in here real quick and see if I can hear anything. I tend not to have my headphones in during the live because it just sounds weird. But let me see here. I'm not hearing anything coming in from here. So other people have to let me know, see if they hear anything. And ditto what John said about the noise. Okay, I will have to listen to the replay and see what I can come up with, see what I'm hearing. Cat is here. Noise is happening when you lean forward. I will have to look into that. Thank you, guys. Let's see here. Yep, me too. Okay. I'm on the West Coast, so after your work is better for me. So will do. It is noisy, Bob. Okay. Let me go into the settings here and see if perhaps maybe I can. I don't know. I don't know if I can adjust the. No. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's on the wrong mic. Okay, how about that? Did that clean it up a little bit? Let me know if that fixed anything, because I think I had it on the wrong microphone. Yep, there's noise, still there. I can hear you, but sound is glitchy. Yep, there's a beeping. It went away when you put the earplugs in. Noise was better when you had the headphones in. Try that again. Well, I think I was getting some feedback from somewhere. Yep, that switched it, so it's all fixed. Okay, great. StreamYard clicked me onto the wrong microphone. It happens. Oops, okay. I'm glad we got that fixed. I'm glad you guys said something, and now we got it fixed. No noise now. There we go. Back onto the good microphone, because I've got not just the microphone and my camera running through the cam link, but I've got my external microphone that I use when I'm out running around with my camera plugged into it. So I was thinking I had all the sound issues fixed. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I'm a little behind there, guys. I did not come up with nearly as many things to talk about today, because I usually prepare all week, but as you have seen on my channel, I've had kind of a busy week with a lot of new subscribers, preparing for the Dr. Barry interview, and I had a couple of other interviews behind the scenes that you guys haven't seen yet. So I've been really busy, so I'm pretty unprepared for today's live stream, but we're going to muddle on through.
John Kelly says, Bob, I know you can burn calories, but can you burn carbs through physical activities? For instance, if you eat 10 carbs in one day, can you burn the 10 carbs back off? Well, we don't actually burn calories and we don't actually burn carbs because calories are heat. But in answer to your question, basically the fuel we're getting from food. Yes, part of your physical activity will use the energy you have coming in before it goes to stored energy. And energy is not really the right word either. Let's call it fuel. The fuel that your fat cells have stored versus the fuel that's floating around in your bloodstream and refilling the glycogen in your muscles, which is what you actually use. The whole mechanism for it is that as you eat food, whether it be carbs or fat or protein or whatever it is, your body, the first thing it does, of course, it does all of its processes that I'm not even going to begin to try and explain because I'm not a scientist. I don't even play one on TV. But the first thing it does is it takes all of that fuel and it does its mechanisms and it refills all of your glycogen stores. And each muscle has its own individual glycogen store. And then it takes what's left and it converts it into storage mode, which is fat. So yeah, I really think the point of your question here is if you are having carbs on top of stuff, and the 10 carbs, yes, because carbohydrates, sugars, are poison to the system, your body tries to get rid of those first. So if you're doing some intense exercise, it will take the carbohydrates out of your system first, I believe. You can't quote me on any of this stuff because I'm not a scientist. If you really want a good answer to this, you'll have to go over and catch Professor K live because he's really good at this kind of stuff. But yes, what happens is your body will use those carbs up because it's poison. And that's where some of the confusion about how people think that carbohydrates are the preferred fuel of your body happen because your body, they say, well, your body uses that first, so it must be its preferred fuel. Well, no, the carbs/sugar, it gets rid of that first because it's poison to your system. It doesn't really want you adding extra carbs in. It would prefer you never have carbs, that you get them from gluconeogenesis, but many people do have a few carbs here and there, and most people can handle them very, very well. That's the basic ins and out of it. I hope I explained that right. And carbs are always burned first, says Bert. Yes. How are you today, Bert? I'm glad you're here. Let's hear. Yes, exercising will help drain your glycogen stores. Once you have burned through all of it, your body will go in fat stores for fuel/energy. Yeah, I think that's about what we got through there. Then there's Connie and Bob. Would you ever have believed a year ago that you'd be celebrating all it? No, not in the least. As I've said in that video and many times before, I didn't scale at first because there was no way I was going to lose weight. I've tried many, many times to lose weight, and that just wasn't in the cards. I was attempting to get some pain relief because I was taking, literally Lyrica. You're supposed to, the maximum dosage of Lyrica is 100 milligrams a time, 3 times a day. I was taking that, and then I was taking how much? Tramadol, 50 milligrams. I have one tramadol left in my bottle there that has been sitting there on my shelf. It was with me in the trailer. I haven't taken a pain pill, and I think it's been 5 or 6 months now. I have that one just as a reminder that I don't need them anymore. I haven't taken pain pills in forever. So no, I never dreamed I would have all of the successes. I was just hoping to be able to stand for more than 2 to 2.5 minutes at a time without severe pain. And now I'm out walking most days, and days I'm not walking, I'm doing yard work. I'm going to the Y to walk in the pool, or I'm going to the Y to work out with the cable machine to work on my shoulder strength. I have a lot of different activities that I'm doing. So yeah, no. The short answer to your question, which I've already failed at because it was not a short answer at all. I never thought for a moment I'd be here. Addicted to Antler says, Bob, you really do sound like a scientist on TV. I'm not actually a scientist. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I have spent literally the last year and the couple of months prior to starting, I did do a lot of research before I started this, and that's when I finally just said, the heck with it, I'm going to give it a go. The worst it can do is kill me, and I'm already almost there anyway. And now that I'm out from underneath the fog of statins, I know my brain is not working nearly as well as it was prior to taking statins, but it is starting to work better, and I'm starting to retain things that I hear. And I watch a lot of YouTube videos from a lot of different people, and especially in Dr. Berry videos and a couple of the others, they tend to link the research that they're using down in, as they say, the show notes. I've read a lot of books. Oh, speaking of books, Dr. Berry, I forget the guy's name that he wrote this one with, but it will be after this video process is down in the description. It's also down in the description of most of my videos. Dr. Berry has a new co-authored book out there called Kicking Ass After 50. Be sure and check that out, along with all of the other books that I recommend. Dr. Berry's and other ones are down in the description of the videos that I put out for books I recommend. So be sure and check some of those out if you have not already. Let's see here. That's where I was. Can you explain oxalate that everyone keeps mentioning? Okay, well, oxalate is one of the anti-nutrients that are in plants. For many people, these oxalates build up in the system because your body can only deal with so much of it at a time. A good person to watch for this is Sally Norton. She does a really good job of explaining it all, but I'm going to give it a stab here. The most common thing that we associate oxalates with in our body is kidney stones, because a vast majority of kidney stones, everybody says, oh, calcium. Well, no, they're calcium oxalate stones. The calcium and oxalates bind together and form crystals, usually in the kidneys, but they can actually form in any tissue in the body. And they aren't, because of the word stones, you think of these little cute round pebbles that will eventually get passed out of the system, but they're actually sharp, spiky things that can form in any tissue of the body. Think about how painful having a stone, a calcium oxalate stone, forming in your eyeball would be. Yeah, that's scary. Or in one of your heart muscles. And that's why Professor K posits, he has no scientific proof, but he suggests that perhaps the reason we no longer as a species can make our own vitamin C is because, while yes, vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin, and a lot of the excess does get passed out of our system through our urine, what doesn't get passed out, our body will turn that excess vitamin C into oxalate. I believe the actual term for it is oxalic acid. And most people can metabolize or deal with between 70 and 100. I don't know if it's nanograms or micrograms or milligrams or whatever it is. 70 to 100 units of oxalate is the standard bell curve for what most people are able to take care of. So we do get away with eating some oxalates. However, spinach and kale both have double or triple that amount just in one serving. And almonds are high in it. There are a lot of the stuff that we have that is supposedly good food on keto is high in oxalate. So I again suggest you go to Sally Norton's book. She has a whole list of foods that are higher in oxalate versus foods that are lower in oxalates. And just be aware that your body will store whatever it can't deal with on any given day. And it stores it in all kinds of inappropriate places, which is why you hear of oxalate dumping later. As people start the ketogenic diet or the carnivore diet and they're no longer poisoning their system with oxalates, the oxalic acid level goes down in the blood. Your body goes, oh, we're not being poisoned anymore. We can get rid of some of this. And it starts to get rid of it. Some of the common things that you'll get is some red puffiness around the eyes. You'll get a lot of plaque on your teeth. There are a lot of different ways it can manifest. Again, I would go read Sally Norton's book. So that's the general outline of what oxalates are that people are talking about. I hope that answers your question, Alan. I'm certain I did not do that justice, but I hope that gets you started. Now, how do you feel? How does it feel to be aging backwards since going carnivore? I don't know that I'm aging backwards. I am feeling much, much better. So I feel better than I did when I was 40. So technically, I guess that could be aging backwards. But it's been great. I can do things that I never thought I could do. I had always thought of, excuse me, I got to adjust to my chair. That's the one thing that I still haven't adjusted to yet. I'm going to have to get some more pillows or something to put on my chairs because I no longer have all that padding on my rear end. When I've been sitting for too long, my rear end gets kind of sore sitting in the chair, which is why you kind of see me adjusting in my chair on a regular basis. That means my butt bones are getting hard. They're digging into the chair and it hurts. So I don't know. That's one of the sets of muscles I'm going to have to work on because I'm going to have to cover my bones back there with some muscle to keep from hurting so much. I hope that answers your question, John. And Bob75, what I understood also is when you have a leaky gut, the body has to put fat around all the things that pass in the wrong place to protect the body. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen with leaky gut, with oxalates. Just basically, that's one of the things that we want to heal by going carnivore or very low carb keto. Until we're sure that we've healed all that stuff. And then you might get away with eating some more keto style stuff. And by the way, if you guys aren't following Alan's Awesome Keto World and you're at the point where you can add keto stuff into your diet, I strongly suggest checking him out because he has some fantastic looking recipes on his channel. Really, really good stuff. That at some point, if I decide I can add some of that stuff back in, I'm going to try a few of them, but we'll have to see how it goes. One other side note, I don't really have any updates. Her husband posted an update on her channel's community tab. For those of you that didn't know it, Mrs. Perfectly Imperfect Keto Sana is in the hospital. So let's say a few prayers for her, and hopefully we'll get an actual update on her at some point and know that she's having some struggles right now as well. So let's all, if you see her popping into the comments somewhere, be sure and send some good thoughts and encouragement her way as well, because she's the head chef of the Semi-Retired Bob Facebook group. Because her food, sorry to you, Alan, but her food looks amazing every time I see pictures of it. Craig says, Bob, have you had any good scores at the grocery store lately? Not really. Haven't been to the grocery store in a while. Because last time I went, I stocked up my freezer and I'm eating that down. I may go sometime this week. They did put my the ground beef that I like really well at my favorite store on sale for $1.99. If you buy it in a 10-pound package, limit 2 of those 10-pound packages. So I did buy 20 pounds of ground beef. That's why my freezer is full. So I certainly haven't bought anything else for quite some time. And Kismet is here. Hello, Kismet. I'm glad you're here. And Sean, I agree with you, Bob. I cannot imagine how last year has changed things in my life. I'm blessed more than I deserve. I'm so thankful. Yes, indeed. And if you guys haven't checked out Sean's channel, Intentional Carnivore, he's doing pretty good over there too. He's lost, I think it's 240 some odd pounds in the last year. So he's doing great. He is doing fantastic. When I first saw this picture that you're seeing in his thumbnail come up, I didn't recognize him because I hadn't actually seen him for about 6 months back when he was on Carnivore Quest channel. They did a little video with him, and he looks like a whole new person. He's doing fantastic stuff. And Squatch says milligrams. Okay, so it's milligrams of oxalate. Let's see here. And yes, the oxalates are one of the natural defense mechanisms of plants to discourage us from eating them. They're primarily there to discourage insects and animals from eating them, but the dose is in the poison. The poison is in the dose. Plants have many things that are not actually good for us. We tolerate some of them better than we do others. We can tolerate some of the oxalates, just not so much. And when we get too much of it, it starts to build up in our system. That's just like, I believe there's like 10,000 plus different species of mushrooms on the planet, maybe even more than that. And there's just a handful that are edible by humans. The rest of them will just kill you on the spot if you eat them or make you very sick. Now, does that mean the 5 or 6 or 7 varieties of mushrooms that are tasty and we can actually tolerate as humans, does that mean that they don't have any of those bad things in them? No, they still have bad things in them. They're just not at the levels that will kill us outright because we ate them. So bear that in mind as you add things to your diet, that all plants, I strongly suggest you do a YouTube search for Dr. Anthony Chaffee. Plants are trying to kill you. He has a very good perspective on this, and I believe him. Plants are trying to kill you, but again, there's a balance that you have to achieve for yourself, because some people just aren't able to give up all plants. As God, his name just flew out of my head. Ready, Set, Keto. James at Ready, Set, Keto. He has said many times that he really does feel better when he's doing strict carnivore, but he knows himself that he likes those, the unwitches that are basically a sandwich wrapped in lettuce that he gets. I believe it's from Jimmy John's, but wherever it is he's getting from, he likes that kind of stuff enough that he knows he could not do strict carnivore for the rest of his life, that he would slip up. And if you know you're going to have slip ups, if you pick the style of diet that is going to be best for you, that you can stick to, then that's fine. I mean, look at Alan. He's lost a ton of weight. He does keto. I don't know if he has ever tried strict carnivore or not. If he hasn't, we'll have to work on him for that. Get him to try 30-day beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge just to see how he feels. Because you never know how good carnivore will feel until you try it. But there's nothing wrong with the version of keto that he does for him, obviously, because if you look at him, his before and after pictures, he's obviously doing very well with it, which is why one of the things I always say is that if you find something that's working for you, there's no reason to change it. And we try not to be dogmatic on this channel. I try not to be judgmental, because if you like pickles or you like lettuce or whatever it is you're having, by all means, if you're not having reactions to those things, go right ahead and have those things. Now I'm going to look away from you guys for a minute so I can read through the comments, because I've gotten a little behind here again now. Awesome information, as well as the anti-nutrients and phytotoxins. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in plants. I guess I'm going to call you Mike. I recently discovered your channel and just subscribed. I'm amazed by your story, and I'm glad you are spreading the message of the carnivore diet. Thank you very much. I'm glad you are here. I'm glad you found the channel. And yes, that is the primary purpose of my channel. Now, I would be lying to you if I said I'm not in this to make money. Wrong. I'm an old retired guy on a fixed income. If I can make a couple extra $100 a week by putting out YouTube videos, or a couple extra $100 a month by putting out YouTube videos, that makes a huge difference to a retired guy on a fixed income. I can do a lot of shopping on a couple of $100 a month. So yes, I want my channel to grow, as I want all channels in this space to grow. But that being said, the primary purpose, because if I was just out to make money, there's a lot better ways to make money than putting out YouTube videos. But I feel so much better, and I've had so much success, that the primary purpose of this channel is to spread the message of the carnivore diet. Do I think everybody needs to do a carnivore diet? Absolutely not, no. Do I think everybody at least needs to know that it's an option? Absolutely. I think everybody at least needs to know it's an option, so that if at some point they run into problems with their health, they know how to begin addressing those issues. You don't necessarily have to stay carnivore for the rest of your life. But if you try carnivore for 45 to 90 days and the problems you were having went away, then you can slowly reintroduce foods until you find out it's like, oh, it was Brussels sprouts. I should never have Brussels sprouts again. Then you can throw those away and move on with your life. So thanks for joining us, Mike. I'm glad you're here. Jim has arrived. Stopped losing weight the past 10 weeks, but keep losing shape. I'll take it. Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said in the video I put out a couple of days ago, or it might have just been, they all kind of run together. But that shirt that I put on, because I bought that 5-pack of t-shirts from Amazon, I didn't really like them because they were size large. They were a little bit too snug on me. I went to put one of those on to make my thumbnail for the 1-year video, and it was loose. Yes, I had lost some weight, but it was certainly not enough weight that I would have gone, gee, I bet those large shirts that I got are going to be baggy on me now. But now those large shirts are a little on the baggy side. So I'm definitely getting some body recomposition. I certainly have not done much of what I would call working out in the upper body strength yet, but I am doing a lot, like my own yard work, still walking most days when I'm not doing something else. My yard work, going to the gym to work out on the cable machine, or going to the gym to walk in chest deep water as hard as I can go. All that stuff adds up. And just at 1 week today, hang in there, Bob. 1 week is a good time. If you had some of the keto flu, trust me, those symptoms will go away soon. Now, depending on how quickly you switched your diet, this is one thing that I've always wanted to address that I have not. Everybody says, oh, the bathroom issues that you might have, should resolve themselves in a couple of weeks. With me, they did not. I mean, come to find out later that I was still a little low on electrolytes because I was still drinking coffee, and I still do drink some coffee. Speaking of which, I need to wet my whistle here. That's pretty cold, but it's still good because I love coffee. All of those things added up together. I actually had, now the bathroom issues that were urgent, sudden, and explosive, that did go away after a couple of weeks. But I had loose bathroom issues for about 2.5 months because my body took a long time to adjust, and I was still drinking coffee and not getting enough electrolytes. So just be aware things can happen. You probably, at 1 week, will probably have a few days in there where you feel a little worse before you get better, but stick with it there, Bob. It does pass, and when you get out the other side, it will be amazing for you. You're welcome, Alan. I sit on the couch in my videos, brothers, and I have that issue. Yes, indeed. I see, he understands. Humans are the smartest and least brainwashed in first few years. They know what's best for our species. They spit out vegetables when fed this started. Yeah, absolutely. Kids, and Dr. Barry has done this experiment with his, he did it with Beckett. When Beckett was first getting weaned on meat, he's like, you could put a veggie down in front of him and he'd taste it and spit it back out. But you put meat, especially meat on the bone that he could gnaw the meat off the bone, he will sit there and chew that bone until it's gone. Not the bone itself, but all the little bits of meat. Kids aren't dumb. If you put meat in front of them, they'll eat it. And that's why, if you remember growing up, if you're close to my age or somewhere around in there, moms would withhold dessert. It's like, well, I've got this wonderful cake for dessert tonight, or pie, or whatever it was, but you have to eat all your vegetables before you can have the dessert. So you'd have to sit there and choke them down. Nobody likes vegetables when they're kids. They taste terrible. Now, some of the ways mom cooked them, I do still like them on occasion. I haven't had them in a year, but like green beans, if you cook them in enough bacon and bacon grease, that makes the green beans taste pretty good. But I've decided rather than having the green beans, why don't I just have a big old pan full of bacon? There you go, because there's nothing wrong with bacon. The reason they did that is, at the time it was thought that bacon was bad for you. So let's have a little bit of bacon flavoring in the green beans. But now we know, chew on all the bacon you want. It's fine. Let's see here. Squatch. Inches mean more than pounds sometimes. Your body's probably healing internally, Jim. Absolutely. There's Sana. Absolutely. Oh boy, I'm behind in the chat here now. And yep, Alan's awesome. Keto World loves mushrooms. And as long as you're not having any negative reactions to them, I see nothing wrong with that, Alan. None whatsoever. BB Dragonfly, hey Bob, hope you had a great birthday. I did. I had a fantastic birthday. I had my 10-year anniversary the day before my 60th birthday. I interviewed Dr. Barry the day before. Then I got to bring that interview to you people on my birthday. I made myself a pretty good meal. I got my grass cut on my birthday. I went over to the Y and worked out with the cable machine on my birthday. My mom called me. It was a pretty good birthday. Yes, indeed. Treasure Rescue, Queen Bee, finally caught alive. Hello, everyone. Hello, Queen Bee. I hope you're having a great day. And Jeannie has arrived. Okay, we have to start over now. Jeannie's here. We can now start the live. Thanks for being here, Jeannie. For those of you that are a little late coming in, I do want to remind everyone that we still have a few weeks left here, but the miniature golf course that I work at part-time in the summer times, he would like me to work Friday evenings, the short shift, as well as closing on Saturday nights, which means I either have to move my Friday live stream to 4 o'clock, which is 15 minutes earlier, or I have to move it to after work, which would be about 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, and that'll change the times for everybody around the world. So if you're watching this now or watching this on the replay, go down underneath the video and leave a comment there for which you would rather, because it makes no difference to me. And basically, I'm going to do a majority rules kind of thing there, because I can record a live anytime, but I like having people in the chat so that we can talk. That's really what the live stream is for, is to get to know you guys and answer your questions and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So don't forget, I don't think you can leave a comment right now down below. Maybe not. I don't know. But after it's done processing and it pops up on the replay, you'll be able to leave comments down below. Mostly meat, so stay under total 20 carbs. Excellent. So you're more ketovore than I would think, Alan. Yes, indeed. And if you look at his meals, he doesn't, most of what I would say his keto stuff is ingredients for making stuff that's still primarily meat-based. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Queen Bee. Bob, I fired up my gas grill yesterday, stood in the rain cooking because the ribeye and chicken thighs were more important than getting wet. Things we do for meat. Yes, indeed. I know a lot of people that stand out. There's a lot of people that like grilling so much that it doesn't matter if they live in a place in the country where it gets cold. I know a lot of people in Ohio that they don't care. It could be, 10 degrees outside and snowing. They're still going to fire up the grill and throw their meat on the grill because they like their meat grilled. I was a weird kid. I liked vegetables. Okay, we now all know that Queen Bee was a weird kid. Absolutely. Jim been doing a lot of ground beef lately. We called our beef farmer, and she reserved a half of beef for me in July. Operation Make Room in the Freezer is underway. Absolutely. I had nothing, in fact, no flu, no nothing. My inflammation started to disappear at the second day. It's still there, but I don't need any medicines now. Lost 3 kilograms, but for sure it's water at this time. Absolutely great. One other thing, a video I would suggest you go watch. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but if you go to Carnivore Quest's channel, they have a video, I believe it's called the Carnivore Wall of Doom or something like that. And at some point, you're going to develop some food aversion, probably. Most people do, but maybe you won't. I also have one, I believe it's in the last month, or it might even be a month. It might be back in February's stuff. I think it's in February's playlist where I talk about food aversion. So you may want to go check that out as well, because it can happen. I'd like to know if the listeners know of bacon not cured with sugar. Thank you. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of different ways to make bacon. But yeah, there are some brands that aren't cured with sugar that you can find out there. If you happen to know of a brand, maybe share it in the chat real quick so Sandra can see it. Because of the way it's cured, it's a curing process. Yes, that does end up leaving a little bit of carb in the meat, but the bacon is so fatty and good for you. As long as those are the only carbs you're having in a day, I wouldn't worry too much about those. Obviously, you want to get the cleanest bacon you can, a smoked bacon or something like that. You probably don't want to buy the package that says maple brown sugar bacon, because that's going to have more carbs in it. But if they're using just a little bit of sugar to cure it and it says 1 carb, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Everybody else, leave your bacon comments down below. And Tampa Jan has arrived. I'm glad to see you here, Tampa Jan. Let's see here. 3 p.m. works for me, Bob. And let's see here. Bert, Your 3 p.m. is my 10 p.m. Okay with me. 15 minutes early. Well, I cook on my deck all year. Snow, rain, sunshine. Yes, indeed. Hello, Ronald. I'm glad you're here. Cooking steaks on my deck right now for tomorrow. Great sale on T-bone here. It doesn't say T-bone. Great sale on bone here. So maybe that's T-bone. Maybe that's ribeyes. I'm not sure. Applegate, no sugar bacon. Thanks for throwing that out there, Edward. This week I bought a 10-pound tube of 80/20 ground beef at $2.69 a pound. Yes, indeed. Mine was $1.99 a pound at the store we have out here called Fairway. And I like theirs really well. I try to buy my ground beef there when I'm at home. And whenever they have a sale, which happens three times during the summer, I always try to stock up. Really big on that. Sugar is usually very minimal in the curing process. Yes, absolutely. Started watching you when you were at 3 months old. Hello, V-Bob. I'm glad you're here. Set the play speed to 1.5 because you talked so slow. Now you're full speed. And other observable thing about you is improved drastically. Yeah, well, and I do try to talk at a measured pace. And I had to talk slower back then when I was walking because I was making sure I got a lot of breath in because breathing was hard back then. So, yes, things have gotten better. And saying nice to Ronald. Tampa Jan, 3 days till I see surgeon to discuss the next step, but I am feeling better. Excellent. I'm glad to see that. I think the D3 and K2 is helping. I'm glad you found some things that are helping, Tampa Jan. Absolutely. And Alan is right there. The only thing better than bacon is more bacon. Absolutely. We're coming down to the end of it here, folks. I got just a couple of minutes left, so if you have any last-minute questions, go ahead and get them in now. Quick reminder, coming up on July the 27th, that's the day before the Hard to Kill Omaha Summit. It's a Thursday. Starting at 2 in the afternoon, we're going to meet at Putting Plus, which is formerly Putt Putt Golf. It's a miniature golf course here in Omaha that's been around since 1968. We're going to go up there. We're going to grill some hamburgers and probably some hot dogs. And we're going to play miniature golf and have a great time just sitting around talking with each other. And that's so if you're coming into town for the Hard to Kill Omaha Summit, be sure and plan on attending that. Be sure and let me know if you're planning on arriving for that so that I know as we get closer to the time how many hamburgers to actually buy and how big of a grill I'm going to have to borrow to get there. Sleep better because I'm surprised it's only 1 week on Carnivore. And that's fantastic. It took me quite a while to get to where I was sleeping better. But hey, if you're sleeping better, that is great. I'm sure you'll find many more great things on Carnivore that it does for you as time progresses, as we all have found things that Carnivore helps us with. But that's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's live. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I will see you in the next one.